Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we are going to continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 24, and we have begun the purport of text 33. We begun that already. Just one moment, I'm not able to. Okay. It's the time element. Okay, the Lord says, I know everything, past, present, and future, in every corner of the universe. I think we read that. The material world, which is moving under the spell of the three modes of nature, is also a manifestation of his energy. So this material world, we are so baffled by the material world. We are so attracted to the material world. And how are we controlled? By the modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Then this goodness, passion, and ignorance, where is this coming from? It's coming from his energy. Parasya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate. Everything that we see is an interaction of his energies. So we think that Mother Nature, the material energy, she's independent. But no, she's not independent. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that Maya Dyakshena Prakriti, that she's my energy. Then Devi Hi Esha Gunamai, this divine energy of mine. And here Shvetashvatara Upanishad also says that Parasya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate, everything that we see is an interaction of his energies. Parasya Brahmana Shakti Stathedam Akhilam Jagat. This is the version of the Vishnu Puran. So we can see the Puranas, the Upanishads, Krishna himself. Everyone is saying that the material nature, she is Krishna's energy. Everything that we are seeing is an interaction of his energy. We can understand that whatever we see is an interaction of the three modes of material nature. But actually, it is all an interaction of the Lord's energy. So because we will come to the point of material nature. We do research work. We'll come to the point of material nature. But who does she belong to? Krishna says, she is my energy. Then we'll come to the point where Bhagavatam, it's because the Lord glances, then the modes get, how we read in the second canto, the modes get agitated, and from there one by one, false ego is created, mind is created, senses are created.
So that's the external energy, right?
Yes. Yeah. External energy of Krishna. So now we will say why so much is written about external energy. I'm not external energy. I am spirit soul. I need to go back. I don't want to be here anymore. Why I have to understand so much about this material nature? The point is we have to understand material nature and her position and Krishna's position and our position. Then we will be able to transcend this material nature. Otherwise, we will be just baffled, thinking material nature is the Supreme Lord. But when we understand that properly, that material nature, she is Krishna's energy and how he is creating it. So, and our position in this material world, then we will be able to understand. So, he is actually the maintainer of all living entities, Nityo Nityanam. He's the chief of all living entities. He's one, but he maintains many, many living entities. God maintains all other living entities, but no one can maintain God. That is his Swachanda Shakti. He is not dependent on others. Someone may call himself independent, but he is still dependent on someone higher. The personality of Godhead, however, is absolute. There is no one higher than or equal to him. So we think we are independent, we are maintaining ourselves, we are maintaining the people under our care, but each of us is being maintained by the Supreme Lord. Each of us maintained by the Supreme Lord. His will is there, and that's what we have to come to understand. And then we come to the point of God, and that this is God and there's no one higher than him. But because in our material mind, we always say, oh, there's always a higher authority. There's always someone who has more authority, more authority. Then when we come to the point of God, then we are like, so why there is no one higher than him? Then that question might be raised. But because he's God, he's on the absolute platform. That is what we have to understand, his position. And because he's absolute, there is no one higher than him. There is no one equal than him also. So Kapila Muni appeared as the son of Kardama Muni because Kapila is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kardama Muni offered respectful obeisances unto him with full surrender. So although he's his son, but he's understanding this is the Supreme Lord. So we can see here the relationship. For example, Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is his son, but he never offered obeisances to him. Why? Because the Madhurya is much more. That, the example Prabhupada would give, there's a president, but when he goes home, so in the office, people will call him Mr. President, Mr. President. But when he goes home, the mother is like, oh, she doesn't care you're the president or no, she'll tell him, hey, have you eaten your food? How was your day? Are you all right? What's happening, my dear son? So like that. So it depends upon the relationship of each individual entity. Another word, of course, Kardama Muni, it's a great position to reach in, not ordinary person, to be able to, imagine, to see the Lord face to face, to have him as his son, to be appearing in the pages of Bhagavatam. Certainly a very, very great personality. Another word in this verse is very important, Atmanu Bhutyanu Gata Prapancham. The Lord descends either as Kapila or Rama, Nishimha or Varaha, and whatever forms he assumes in the material world are all manifestations of his own personal internal energy. They are never forms of the material energy. The ordinary living entities who are manifested in this material world have bodies created by the material energy. But when Krishna or any one of his expansions or parts of the expansions descends to this material world, although he appears to have a material body, his body is not material. So we are ordinary living entities. We are souls, we are living entities, and we are ordinary living entities. So when we come to the material world, we get a material body. We are bound by the laws of this material energy. But when Krishna comes or his incarnations comes, then they are not bound by the laws of the material energy. They are coming by their own internal energy, the spiritual energy. So his body that we see, that the devotees are able to see that they are manifesting is not material, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. He always has a transcendental body, but fools and rascals who are called mudas consider him one of them, and therefore they deride him. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that avajananti mam muda, those who are rascals and fools deride me. He says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 that, that if we think, oh, that I'm a living entity and right now I'm inside this material body, so if Krishna is coming in this material world, and then, so even his body is material, then Krishna is saying, oh, you're a fool. You're not able to understand that. I never take a material body, that his body is transcendental. So they refuse, and then Krishna says, because you're foolish, you're not able to understand my position, therefore you refuse to accept me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. because of this point. So that's the reason we can see so everywhere it's being repeated for us to understand that when Krishna comes to this material world, his body is not same like ours. It is a transcendental body. And because his body is transcendental, his activities are transcendental. His pastimes are transcendental. They're all on the absolute platform. It's not like ours. When God descends in a form, this does not mean that he assumes his form with the help of the material energy. He manifests his spiritual form as he exists in his spiritual kingdom. So why again and again we have been trying to, why this point is being explained to us? Why? Because Krishna is saying, once you understand this, you get liberated. You don't need to come to this material world again. Just try to understand. Just try to understand that my form is transcendental. It is not material. And so my activities are transcendental. My name, fame, form, qualities, pastimes, everything is transcendental. Is that okay?
Yes. So this is in chapter 7, is it?
Avajananti Mamuda?
Yeah.
Yeah, chapter 7. Where he says that 4 types of pious people come to him and 4 pious don't come to him.
Okay.
And then, yeah, isn't it Avajananti Mamuda? Isn't it?
Avajananti Mamuda.
Okay, yeah, let me see. Avajananti Mamuda. Let's see. Isn't it 7? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not 7. It's 9.11. My bad. Sorry about that.
No, I'm just writing down. So that's
yeah, good. You clarified with me because wow. So sorry about that. This is 9:11. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. This is the verse 9:11. So that's the point that we have to understand. So we may be foolish, not able to understand Krishna's form is transcendental, but we can pray to him, my dear Krishna, I'm foolish. I'm not able to understand what you're saying. Kindly, please help me to understand this point. Please give me the intelligence by which I can understand what you're saying. You know, it doesn't mean that if we are foolish, we should continue to remain foolish. That is foolishness, right? So then, reading on. Asambhi prache adyapatim prajanam tvaya vatir narna utapta kamaha parivrajat padavim asthitoham charishye tvam hidi yunjan vishokaha. Today, so we are beginning another translation and purport. Okay, today I have something to ask from you, who are the Lord of all living entities, since I have now been liberated by you from my debts to my Father. And since all my desires are fulfilled, I wish to accept the order of an itinerant mendicant. Renouncing this family life, I wish to wander about, freed from lamentation, thinking always of you in my heart. So purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Actually, sannyas or renunciation of material household life necessitates complete absorption in Krishna consciousness and immersion in the self. One does not take sannyas, freedom from family responsibility in the renounced order of life, to make another family or to create an embarrassing transcendental fraud in the name of sannyas. The sannyasi's business is not to become proprietor of so many things and amass money from the innocent people. A sannyasi is proud that he's always thinking of Krishna within himself. So a person, if he wants to become a sannyasi, the reason he wants to become a sannyasi is to have all the time completely engaged in Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, service of Krishna, not to cheat other people and gain popularity or gain money. Of course, there are 2 kinds of devotees of the Lord. One is called Goshtyanandi which means those who are preachers and have many followers for preaching the glories of the Lord, and who live among those many followers just to organize missionary activities. Other devotees are Atmanandi or self-satisfied and do not take the risk of preaching work. So they are Goshtyanandi. Goshtyanandi means the preachers. They are also devotees of the Lord, but their aim is to carry on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna Upadesh. That they themselves are doing their bhajan, but they want to give this message of God to everyone. So that's why they are called Goshtyanandi. And then there are the other devotees who are called Bhajananandi. Bhajananandi or Atmanandi, that they are not preachers, but they are they are just absorbed in doing their own bhajan to Krishna, their own chanting and Krishna develop their Krishna consciousness and not preaching. They therefore remain alone with God. In this classification was Cardamama. He wanted to be free from all anxieties and remain alone within his heart with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Parivraja. Parivraja means an itinerant mendicant. A mendicant sannyasi should not live anywhere for more than 3 days. He must be always moving because his duty is to move from door to door and enlighten people about Krishna consciousness. So Kardamamani wanted to do that. He wanted to go alone, and he wanted to, because he was already on the liberated platform, he wanted to, be with the Lord all the time in his heart. He wanted to cultivate more and more his Krishna consciousness. And then here, Prabhupada is saying, Pravija, the sannyasi, he moves from door to door. Why does a sannyasi go to the grihastas? Why? Not to get money from them, but the idea is to enlighten the people. That is a true sannyasi, to enlighten them. Hey, you're not the body, you're Krishna conscious souls. Wake up. That is the duty and the purpose of the sannyasi, to visit the grihastas. So Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Maya Proktam Hi Lokasya Pramanam Satya Lokike Atha Jani Maya Tubhyam Yad Avocham Ritam Mune. The personality of Godhead, Kapila said, whatever I speak, whether directly or in the scriptures, is authoritative in all respects for the people of the world. O Muni, because I told you before that I would become your son, I have descended to fulfill this truth. So Kapila Muni, now Lord Kapila is telling to Kardama Muni, I told you I'll come, and now I came, I fulfilled my promise. And whatever I speak, whatever am I speaking to you directly, or whatever I'm speaking in the scriptures, it is an authority. People should follow it. Authoritative in all respects means these are instructions for everyone to follow. When Krishna speaks, it's not like how we speak, Our speaking is like, if people were to analyze it, they'll go crazy. If 5,000 years later, it's what we speak is like Gramya Katha, things relating just here and there, relative truths. But when Krishna speaks, he's speaking for the benefit of everyone. And so he's an authority. He is the highest authority. Krishna is the highest authority, and that's the reason Bhagavad Gita is studied by everyone all over the world. And Krishna is the highest authority, and that's the reason the Vedas are studied. Yeah, they're all spiritual because they're spoken by Krishna. So there's no higher authority than Krishna. No one has more knowledge than Krishna. Kardama Muni was to leave his family life to completely engage in the service of the Lord. But since he knew that the Lord himself, as Kapila, had taken birth in his home as his own son, why was he preparing to leave home to search out self-realization or God realization? God himself was present in his home. Why should he leave home? Such a question may certainly arise. But here it is said that whatever is spoken in the Vedas and whatever is practiced in accordance with the injunctions of the Vedas is to be accepted as authoritative in society. Vedic authority says that a householder must leave home after his 50th year. Pancha Shodhavam Vanjam Brajet. One must leave his family life and enter the forest after the age of 50. This is an authoritative statement of the Vedas based on the division of social life into 4 departments of activity: brahmacharya, grihast, vanaprasth, and sannyas. So Krishna himself made this brahmachari, grihast, vanaprasth, and sannyas. He himself made these 4 orders. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrashtam, that he has made these 4 orders, varnas and ashram, based on quality. And so Mukardama Muni practiced yoga very rigidly as a brahmachari before his marriage, and he became so powerful and attained so much mystic power that his father Brahma ordered him to marry and beget children as a householder. Kardama did that also. He begot 9 good daughters and 1 son, Kapila Muni. I'm sorry. And thus his householder duty was also performed nicely, and now his duty was to leave. Even though he had the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his son, he had to respect the authority of the Vedas. This is a very important lesson. Even if one has God in his home as his son, he should still follow the Vedic injunctions. It is stated, Mahajano yena gataha sapanthaha. One should traverse the path which is followed by great personalities. Mahajano yena gataha sapanthaha. One should traverse the path which is followed by great personalities. We are always following examples. We are always, we have this ideals. Oh, we get attracted by a certain personality and then we like to learn what they are doing. Oh, and because we get attracted to what they stand for, and then we try to do what they are doing. So we should be very careful who we are following, who is our ideal, what do they stand for, what is their, what are their values, what are they doing, where is their future, right? Is it that I'm just getting attracted to someone's fame or someone's wealth, but what does this person actually stand for? So the Vedas tell us that we should follow Mahajano yena gataha sapantaha. We should follow the Mahajans, the great devotees. One should traverse the path which is followed by great personalities. So that is very important for us. Who are we following? We have this following also. Oh, following now has become even more. Following on FB, following on, I don't know, a lot of social media following. Who are we following? Are we following the Mahajans? Then we will become like the Mahajans. Who are we following? It's very important. So I think stop here. Did anyone have any comment or any question?
Like as we said that there is so much following, but then it's our good fortune that some great devotees are there. So definitely we cannot follow them otherwise, but just like as you said, that if we click that button, follow Radhanath Swami, then though we might not, but we are following.
Oh yeah, Mahajana yena sagata pantha. Yeah, we follow the Mahajans.
Yeah, so
Yes.
like that's what I'm trying to say, that we might not, but we are fortunate we can.
Oh yes.
Maybe with the acharan we are not able to, but just by clicking that one button, as you mentioned.
But you see, we also have to understand, we don't have to imitate. You understand? There is a difference that, am I imitating a person or am I following? Following means, what are this person's instructions? What is he saying? What does he stand for? We don't need to imitate. We have to follow the instructions. That is following.
Yeah, like as everybody say that do hearing and chanting, right? So that means we are following the instructions.
Yes, that is what is following. We can imitate some sannyasis. We are not. If you're in a position of a grihastha, woman and family, we don't have to artificially do those things. And now, in fact, in sannyas, in Kali Yuga, we are not even going to be able to go live in the forest. I'm sorry, like how vanaprastha, if we are going to be hearing later on in Bhagavatam what actually vanaprastha means, So we can't even do those things in Kali Yuga. Better just stay at home and cultivate Krishna consciousness. Continue to hear and chant. Of course, don't get so involved in family matters once you get retired, after the material duties are finished, after all the material duties are finished. Engage more and more in cultivating Krishna consciousness, even at home. No need to leave the home.
That's not possible to go to one place. So people are living.
I'm sorry?
Because now it's not practical in today's world.
Yes.
So then that means that they are living and they're following what is to be done.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Because I think that 50 is approaching so fast. I mean, 50s, oh my God.
I'm already 50 past, yeah. I'm still.
Yeah, I know, right? And then, but then if material duties are still there, then we still, we have to do those. Can't Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, don't artificially renounce, right? So what do we have to do? Side by side, both.
Don't get stuck in that more janjal. Right?
Yeah, so do both, hearing and chanting, and then whatever material duties are to be done, well, they are to be done.
Okay.
And then once they're finished, then you engage more time in hearing and chanting. More services, can take up some services then. So like we need to go about it in a very practical way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.